Normally docile creatures are rampaging and destroying everything around them. It's up to Morbius the Living Vampire to team up his Monster Metropolis police force with the famous monster hunter Elsa Bloodstone to stop the chaos in The Legion of Monsters.
Word 'em up, it's Gutter Trash, episode 171, Legion of Monsters. My name is Eric.
And I'm Jason. Legion of Monsters.
Legion of Monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Word 'em up, huh?
Yeah.
Was what was that Chunky A? The, Arsenio Hall's, hip-hop, character that he put out an album. Do you remember that?
Nope.
Didn't he have a song called Word Up?
I don't know about him.
Somebody had a song called Word Up.
Cameo. The band Cameo.
I'm confusing Cameo with Chunky A.
Word Up.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Wow, and what was Chunky A's?
Korn did a cover of that.
Did they? Maybe I'm confusing Chunky A with Korn. That could be. Huh. Yeah, but Arsenio Hall had this character that he played called Chunky A, and I saw him do it he was a guest on the Arsenio Hall show once.
Right.
But he was just like Arsenio Hall in a fat suit with a nasally voice doing horrible rap. And I'm pretty sure I bought his cassette.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
This is news to me.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Chunky A. Yeah, it was not Word Up, you're right.
Okay.
Cameo. Yeah. Man, what was his song? Oh, well. Figure it out on the break.
I don't think we need to. I think it's best forgotten.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah. Chunky A.
What?
Chunky
A. Okay. Yeah. I thought you said Jinkies.
Jinkies? No.
Okay. Yeah. What? You look like you were about to say something.
Well, speaking of Jinkies, I did hear something really random on the radio.
Alright.
Today.
Was somebody shitting in their car?
No.
Right.
You know when I went to Nebraska back in, November?
Yeah.
I went to Lincoln, Nebraska. And I was driving around with Chris and Mandy, and they were telling me about this guy that has a van that was painted just like the Mystery Machine from Scooby-Doo.
Okay.
And they're like, yeah, it's always right up here. And we were driving by it on our way to get some lunch. And it wasn't there, of course. And they're like, it's not there. And they didn't know anything about the guy. But, on the way home from Kathleen's today, I was listening to NPR, and they had a story about that guy on NPR. Because they were like, he's from Lincoln, Nebraska, and he drives around this Mystery Machine painted van. And I was like, what?
Huh.
And, apparently, I forget
He's a rapist.
He's not a rapist.
Okay.
But, I forget his name. It was an odd name.
Rapey McRaperton.
Oh, you heard the same news article.
Yeah.
But no,
was his name Fred?
No, Scooby-Dum. No, but he runs a store in Lincoln, Nebraska called Gongs Unlimited.
Okay.
And he sells gongs all over the world. Like anywhere from $20 to thousands of dollars for a single gong. And,
is there that much demand for a gong?
Well, that's what he said. He's like, you wouldn't believe. He said, apparently there are a lot of people that want gongs, mostly either he said he sells a lot to yoga schools and used car lots because they'll bang the gong when they sell the cars.
Right.
And a lot of, and just odd people, hippies and stuff.
Lots of, local productions of the Gong Show.
Right. Amateur, yeah. But he, sort of the backyard wrestling of
Right, yeah.
But no, he said, there's just not many places that sell gongs.
Huh.
He said, there's a couple places in Hong Kong And then, like maybe one other place in the United States, but he said there's like 5 places that sell gongs in the world. And, but he used to be one of the writers on, Sabrina the Teenage Witch and South Park, which I find odd that someone wrote for both of those shows.
Right. It's possible.
But he said he wasn't doing very well in Hollywood, and he just decided to move to Lincoln, Nebraska, and he had never even been there.
Right.
He said he had some vision of a gong, and he like followed his meditation, and he moved to Lincoln and started a gong shop, and he bought the mystery machine on eBay once he got there.
Huh. So the part I'm most interested in is that you don't believe that someone could write for 2 very different types of shows.
Well,
Writers are writers. They can apply their trade in
I can believe
very
it.
different genres.
I mean, I like some artists who do some pretty diverse things, but it just surprised me that those 2 diverse things had one of the same people in common.
I think it's perfectly acceptable, perfectly fine.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
I have nothing against it.
You seem like you have something against it.
It just surprised me.
Right.
Surprise is different from ridicule.
Okay, alright. Sometimes it's really hard to tell when you're ridiculing something or not.
Me?
Yeah, you.
I don't ridicule anything.
You ridicule some stuff.
I can't think of anything.
Magic in the Gathering?
Oh, yeah.
That's just the obvious one.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I don't see what's so special about someone driving around in a mystery machine. We've got one here in Dayton.
Yeah.
I've seen it numerous times.
Well, they weren't doing the article. They were doing
Well,
the article
no,
about
but
the gun.
yeah.
They just mentioned the mystery machine.
Right.
But Chris and Andy were excited because Lincoln's a pretty boring, like, plain town.
Yeah, well, so's Dayton.
Yeah. But they were
They're
like,
both from Dayton, right? Or at least Chris.
well,
Lived here.
Yeah, they both lived here.
Right.
Yeah, they're neither one from here, but
They've both lived here recently enough that they could have seen the
could
mystery
have seen the
machine,
mystery machine, yeah.
running around this town, as I have on numerous occasions.
Yeah. I don't know if I've seen the one in Dayton.
Really?
It's
It's usually there's a couple auto body shops down the street from me here.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually at the one closest to Hank's Pub.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, it's like right across from Hank's Pub, the Kettering Automotive, I think. Tabor's, maybe.
It's
That's what it's called.
painted just like it, though.
Painted just like it. It's got a spoiler on the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the actual mystery machine does, but for the most part, it's the same paint job.
It says the mystery
Says the
Wow.
mystery machine on it.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll have to keep an eye peeled. I remember when I was a kid, there was a Star Wars van. It had like
That's not quite the same.
I thought it was
Unless
so much
it
cooler.
was exactly shaped like the Millennium Falcon or a TIE Fighter.
No, that would have been awesome. A TIE Fighter shaped van. But it had like the really sweet pose of Luke with his arms above his head.
Right,
You know,
the like almost Frazetta type of yeah.
I always thought it was awesome. But yeah.
I've seen the Batmobile around too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, the Tim Burton one.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen it in a shop. I've never seen it on the road.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've seen it near there on the road, but never far from that shop.
Right. Yeah, it's so cool. It's just like in the window on Wayne Avenue.
So I think it's a shop that can custom make stuff like that if you have enough money.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway,
I wonder if they custom made that mystery machine.
maybe. I don't know.
Shouldn't have added that spoiler.
Nope. Ruins it.
Yeah, it lived up to its name.
The only way that that spoiler can be made up for is if there is an actual talking dog in the van.
Yeah. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. Stranger Things.
Speaking of talking beasts,
Mm-hmm.
we read a comic that had quite a few of them in there.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. Legion of Monsters, Marvel Comics, 4-issue limited series. The last issue came out,
Was it last year?
very
Very recently.
last year, but that was only 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And of course, there's no credit box or anything that has the date or Who
You
this is by.
You can still find it in the comic shops, basically.
You could in the back issues. Recent back issues. What the fuck, book? Maybe it's here at the end. Yes. Well, the cover date on it is March 2012, so that had to be
wow.
January, I guess. when it came out.
Let's see. It seems like it's been a while.
Written by Dennis Hopeless, drawn by Juan Doe. I'm gonna guess possibly not their real names.
Yeah, I was guessing that as well.
Yeah. Why would I don't get a pseudonym if you're working in comics.
Maybe they're embarrassed by it.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like I understand, back in, the Golden Age and Silver Age, a lot of writers would use pseudonyms because they were trying to have respectable careers doing,
Right.
journalism or actual
Magazine illustrations.
magazines or illustrations,
And
greeting cards.
Some guys would have like 4 names for themselves.
Right.
To try to, I don't know if they were trying to make their companies seem bigger or something.
I think some of them did it like, like back in the day, you couldn't work for both Marvel and DC at the same time, so they would come up with a fake name to work at both companies.
Well, I know like one guy, it was either Matt Baker or Fletcher Hanks. I remember one of those guys had like 2 different names in like even in the same comic. It was like a bunch of short jungle stories, and like each story they like had a different name, and I don't know why that would be.
I don't know. Maybe, it was probably one of those things. At least like for those books, because that was definitely in the 40s or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
It was probably a matter of they were trying to get actual illustrative work,
Right.
and they were slumming it in comics and didn't want to ruin their reputations.
Makes sense.
Yeah, especially Matt Baker, because I know he's he did Rula, the Jungle Queen or whatever that was.
Yeah.
And that was pretty racy stuff back in the day.
Right.
So,
Oh yeah. Ladies showing legs and whatnot.
Right. Yeah. Skimpy outfits.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, he was I believe he was a black man as well.
Oh yeah, Matt
Yeah.
Baker.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Could be 100% wrong on that.
I wonder if too, because some of their styles would be different, like from story to story.
Right.
I wonder if he was like, my Matt Baker is, my real traditional line work, and then, like when I feather it up, I'm, Charles Grodin or whatever.
And also, of course, when he does Midnight Run.
Yeah, what it is.
I don't know. But nowadays, to have a pseudonym just seems weird.
Well, you got like Jock and some of those guys. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Matt
Seth.
Fraction. Yeah.
Seth. And,
Seth is his real name, isn't it? Like he just
no,
dropped his last name.
No, it's I think it's like Gilbert.
Okay, well, my name
Yeah.
is Gilbert. No, definitely change it.
I forget his name, but I know I've heard it. And yeah, Seth isn't a shortened version or anything.
Huh.
Somebody else. Oh, Jason, the Norwegian guy. He just said Jason's like easier to pronounce,
Right.
so he just goes by Jason.
Yeah, but I still fully don't understand why. Especially like
In this
those
day
two
and age.
guys, Seth and Jason. I mean, they've gotten a lot of acclaim for their work.
Yeah.
This is pretty much that's what they do.
And Seth does like New Yorker cartoon covers, and he signs them
his-
Seth.
right, yeah.
So who knows?
So yeah, and I know like Matt Fraction is just like his real name is Matt Fritchman or something like that. So it's just sort of a simplified way to say his name.
That's odd.
I don't know. Yeah, but Dennis Hopeless and Wando are definitely
Yeah. Which is funny because I thought that about Dennis Hopeless, but I didn't even think that about Wando. I mean, like I got
Doe is clearly not a Hispanic.
right. I think I was just still caught up on Dennis Hopeless because his name appears first, and like I hadn't made it that far, and my brain's a little slower than it should be.
So I know Dennis Hopeless has done some other work here and there. I've heard him on the Crankcast in the past.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I think this is the first thing I've ever read by him. And Wando, he drew most of those Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, Puerto Rico issues.
Oh, okay, like the MODOK Island.
Yeah. Which I've read most of those, and I like the art mostly in those more than anything else about them.
Yeah.
Not that those were bad or anything, but the art sold me on them more than anything.
He's got a pretty distinct style.
I fucking love it.
Mm.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's very cartoony and loose, ink heavy. It's dirty, but simple. Say something. Anything?
I'm just looking at the artwork. I'm agreeing. I'm like, yeah, it's got a very, very animated kind of look. Like I could totally see this in motion when I was reading it. Like it almost seems like something I would like better as a animated feature than a comic, honestly. Like with the same exact art style.
Right.
And, nothing different about it, but it reminds me of like, yeah, maybe like maybe like a more punkier version of like the DC Unlimited kind of style where they have those tiny feet and like legs, and then like what's her name, Bloodstone. She's got these tiny little feet and ankles that you could like snap off, but then like like a bigger, fuller like arm and head kind of area, torso, whatnot.
Mostly just trying to figure out what DC Unlimited is.
Or like is it called?
Are you talking the Bruce Timm style?
Well, I mean, kind of that, but I mean, what were those toys that they made that there's like a million different DC toys and they all have like I think Joe's got like 1,000 of them. They have
superpowers.
No, like in the last few years, they have like tiny little legs and then like big giant trunks and, heads and arms.
I don't
know. We've got a bunch of them at Mavericks. I don't know what they're called. Because ours are all loose figures.
The only thing I can think of that you're trying to talk about is the Bruce Timm style.
Yeah. It might be, but I mean, we've got like tons of characters. It's not just like Batman and Superman.
Well, Bruce Timm it was the Justice League, and he's done it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be those then, yeah. But it reminds me a lot of that. Those tiny little cute little feet. Yeah. Good stuff. Good artwork. Still trying to figure out what those are.
I think you mean the Bruce Timm style.
It could be.
I think you do.
But when I think of Bruce Timm, like, I think of really cartoony, but I don't think of those, like, super exaggerated tiny feet and legs. I don't know.
But he did those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, like the Batman cartoon. Did he have the tiny little feet?
Oh.
Did he? Okay. I'm just thinking of the toys, whatever the toys were.
Yeah, because the only other toys I can think of that you would be talking about don't have any style to them whatsoever.
Yeah, not the DC Universe ones.
Okay.
It's not those.
Yeah, the Justice League Unlimited ones?
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe
okay.
That's what it is.
They're barely posable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I probably even have one right here. These?
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah, that's the Bruce Timm style.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I said, Bruce Timm style. He's got the Dr. Fate figure up here watching over us now.
Yeah. You can thank Joe for that, probably.
Oh, yeah.
He's the only person I know who would bring these toys into this room to play with while we're trying to record.
Well, and Joe ends up with like 40 copies of most of his toys because he falls into this trap where, like, he'll buy a Dr. Fate figure and then they release a 2-pack of like Dr. Fate and Gleek.
Right.
And then he'll buy that and then they'll
Gleek.
Yeah,
right,
for the Gleek, and then they'll do like Dr. Fate, Gleek and, Comet the Super Horse.
Right.
All in one 3-pack. And then he goes out and buys the 3-pack and he's got an extra Gleek and 2 extra Dr. Fates.
Let me just say that is a terrible 3-pack.
You wouldn't buy that 3-pack?
No.
Oh, Joe would.
I know Joe would. That is a poorly thought out 3-pack on the part of Mattel.
I think the fans voted, and that's what they came up with. They're like, what 3 characters would you want the most? Yeah, they don't really match up, though. Like,
yeah. So anyway, now that I've been unnecessarily mean to you, let's try to talk about this comic.
Legion of Monsters.
Legion of Monsters.
No, there was a comic called Legion of Monsters before this, right?
I think so.
70s
Yeah.
or something? Okay. Because I remember reading more... Like, I remember when I was a kid, I loved Morbius and I loved Werewolf by Night. But I think I only read Morbius in, like, Spectacular Spider-Man comics.
Right.
I don't think I ever read any actual, Morbius comics.
I read, like, the first couple issues of the, early 90s Morbius comic.
Oh, like the Midnight Suns?
Yep. Was not great.
Yeah, it did not look great.
Ron Garney on art.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
He's a journeyman.
He's an okay. Yeah.
I respect some Ron Garney.
I think, yeah.
Respect.
Yeah.
No admiration, but just respect.
Right, yeah.
He's the Cal Ripken of Marvel Comics artists.
Well, except that he hardly does a lot.
Well, yeah. Okay, well then that doesn't really work. And he's not retired, which
Right,
I think
yeah.
Cal Ripken is. So. Okay, then that's a bad analogy. He's the Ford Taurus of Marvel comic
there we
artists.
It's a fine car, but nobody's,
Nobody loves it.
yeah, nobody's going out of their way to talk about the Ford Taurus.
It gets you where you need to go.
Exactly.
There you go.
If I rented a car and they gave me a Ford Taurus, I'm not going to complain.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. It's not flashy,
Nope.
but it knows how to tell a story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's, and I think I've read some of those old, reprints, of, like Morbius's first appearances.
Where did he first appear? Was it Tomb of Dracula?
Spider-Man.
Was it Spider-Man?
Yeah,
Okay.
he was a Spider-Man villain.
Okay.
He was a geneticist who was helping Peter get rid of his powers, and that's right around the time where Peter had, like, the 6 arms,
Okay. Yeah.
and, like, he injected himself with some sort of serum and became a vampire. A living vampire.
That's too bad. Well, it's better than the other kind.
Yep. I've never read any Werewolf by Night, although I have the Essential Moon Knight, which has, Moon Knight's first appearances, which were from his book.
Right. Yeah, I loved that. When I was a kid, werewolves were my absolute favorite monster. Like, I think I talked about this before. I used to go to the library and get this Universal Monster book about the Wolfman. Like,
Right.
every single time, like, we went to the library. And so I started reading Werewolf by Night comics, too. And I don't remember them very well, other than, like, I thought it was awesome that the werewolf was just tearing people apart.
Right.
Mostly bad guys.
Yeah, well, still comic for kids.
Yeah, it's for kids.
Yeah. I know he, Werewolf by Night recently appeared in, not recently. I say recently because I read, 80 issues of X Factor in one sitting, and, he was in there somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Seems like an odd place for him to show up in an X book.
He was helping out, Wolfsbane.
Okay.
Yeah.
They probably go to the same barber or something.
Probably, yeah. And then, I know Amphibian is an actual thing that happened. I've never read anything about him before this.
I had never heard of Amphibian.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the name.
Yeah, it's great. And, I don't know anything about the Living Mummy. And I've read, more than my fair share of, Bloodstone comics.
Okay, yeah, so this one has the daughter of Bloodstone, right?
Right.
Basically.
Elsa Bloodstone. She's just a monster hunter. I read her series that came out in like 2000, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Written by, Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning. And then she was, a member of Next Wave.
Oh. Did this guy draw Next Wave?
No.
Okay. Who drew that?
Stuart Immonen.
Hyman, okay. Well, that's where I've seen her before then.
Right.
Okay. Because I've never read any other Bloodstone stuff.
Right.
But,
yeah, she was wearing basically what she wears in the Next Wave books, so they're using that design pretty much.
So, should we say the gist of the story? It's
I
kind
got
of simple.
the synopsis up at the top.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. But basically, monsters are attacking, and the Legion of Monsters are sort of a police force that keep the peace in Monster Town.
Which I think is awesome.
Oh yeah,
That's a cool idea.
yeah. I guess most of these guys appeared in the Frankencastle story arc,
Okay.
where the Punisher died and became a Frankenstein.
Man, I need to read that. I bought most of those, and I think I'm missing a couple. I need to put that together and read it. It looks fun.
Yeah, I read some of them. It was alright. Punisher is a sort of brainless monster.
Yeah.
Stitched together, killing things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a monster plague, basically, going on?
Yeah, virus is turning normal everyday Joe type of monsters who just want to live their lives.
Yeah.
It's turning them into actual monsters.
So instead of just, looking the part, they're
Acting like
destroying
monsters, yeah.
people's lives, yeah.
Yeah, destroying things, eating people, etc., etc.
Fighting amongst themselves.
Right. Infecting others. They're trying to figure out what's going on. Elsa Bloodstone gets mixed up in it all. They turn to Damien Hellstorm for advice, and he's just kind of a dick.
Yeah. He just kind of rips his shirt off, says I'm a dick. And
I think once you've ripped your shirt off in front of people, it's pretty much telling you right there that you're a dick anyway.
Hulk Hogan?
Yep.
Not a dick.
Oh, I beg to differ.
Oh.
I know that we just watched Gremlins 2.
He was prepared to rid that theater of Gremlins for the public, public safety and movie going, Joe's ticket money everywhere would be safe. Even Dr. Fate is against your, just like a Hulk Hogan. He just tried to commit Harry.
He is a big 80s wrestling fan.
He's got the same color scheme. Well, he's got the yellow at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're right. Hulk Hogan is a dick.
So what'd you think?
I really, really like the art, and the story was an okay vehicle to tell a fun monster story, but I didn't really care for this story, honestly. Like, it was okay. It was like, I didn't hate it by any means, but it was just basically like, I don't know, just kind of simple and, it was okay.
Eh.
Like, I think if the art would have been bad, I would have said I did not like this book.
Right.
But since the art was so good, like, I think the story's fine for being a vehicle for this artwork.
Alright.
Yeah, I don't know, what do you think of the story?
I can't disagree with you. But I can't fully agree with you either. I think it was a fine story, and I think it would have worked with the arts, or not.
Like a Ron Garney?
I think it would have been fine with a Ron Garney.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the art was definitely the selling point on it for me.
Right.
And I absolutely loved it. I think Wando is great, and I definitely will keep looking out for things that he draws. I think the story was serviceable. The story was the Ron Garney of stories.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, it didn't make me mad, like, this is just stupid.
No, yeah.
But it was just,
It wasn't bad. But it was just really inconsequential, I guess. And even, like, at the end, like, I don't know. I mean, I'm certainly not expecting high art. And I'm not expecting, game-changing, ramifications from a story.
Right.
From a 4-issue Legion of Monsters miniseries.
Right.
But, at the end, spoiler, everything's okay.
Yeah.
Like, nothing bad permanently happens in
Right.
this book. And at the end, that just kind of feels like a cheat.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's why, like, it really, I mean, you know, in addition to the art style, to me, it almost seems like just a cartoon. Like, it's just a fun, dumb, one-off, you know,
Right.
like, entertainment kind of thing where it's not like the characters have developed or, like,
Right.
you know, I mean, it's just like a monster story.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's fun. It's, but yeah, it's just, and again, you know, I feel bad for saying that it's inconsequential, because normally I can't see why I would care.
Right.
Because, I mean, half the time when I'm reading a comic, that's all I'm looking for.
You don't want social commentary.
I don't want social
right? Yeah.
commentary. I don't want, you know...
Political views. And,
Right, and, like, even more frivolously, I don't want, you know... I don't want this to have affected the entire Marvel Universe, and,
Right,
you
yeah.
know, every future random comic that I read is gonna, you know, reference back to the events in this book. You know?
Right,
I don't
yeah.
care about that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean,
Like, I bought this fully going in saying that it's a 4-issue miniseries about monsters. Let's do this,
Yeah.
you know?
yeah.
And so I don't know why at the end I still sort of feel,
Cheated a little.
yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm exactly right there. It's like, I don't know what it's missing, and like, the fact that it's missing some element doesn't ruin it, but it seems like it could have just like been amped up just a little bit, or like,
Right, yeah.
like just had, I don't know, something, like even if it would have been like a crazy twist ending with like something else horrific, and
Right.
you know, and then it just ends, you know, like that, no closure, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, like the end of a horror movie where just something crazy happens.
Right, yeah, yeah. Yeah, or, you know, I kept thinking about the Matrix miniseries that we read shortly before this. And, like, I feel both of them have similarities, in that, like, you know, it's basically a bunch of sort of C-level characters,
Right.
you know, having their own adventure, not really affecting the greater Marvel Universe or being affected by it.
No Captain America mentions.
Right, yeah, it's just its own thing. It's existing on its own.
Mm-hmm.
But even Matrix had stakes to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if that book had failed and they never relaunched X Factor out of it or anything like that, if it was just its own standalone thing,
Right.
like the characters in it, like walked away at the end of it different than they were at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like other characters like came and went and were affected by the events of the book. And with this one, the only affected character was a blank slate anyway.
Right.
So it's no real big loss that I'm speaking of the Dimensional Man character.
Yeah, the energy being guy.
Yeah, he shows up at the beginning, and he's just sort of a random villain that the Legion of Monsters is arresting.
Right.
And then at the end, he becomes sort of like this major player, but then nothing.
Right.
But there was nothing there for you to care about it either.
It almost, like at the end of the story, I don't want to blow it, but it seems like it did just kind of end.
Yeah.
Like it was like I was expecting like 3 or 4 more pages of like events,
Right, right,
until it wrapped up, but it just kind of ended.
Yeah, and I think even like in the last 3 pages or so, they jump like like the events that are all told through the book happen, and then like the next page is like 3 weeks later.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like everything is fine. All those characters that had terrible things happen to them, they're okay now.
Yeah, don't you worry. The mummy, he needs a little bit more rest.
Yep.
But he'll be alright,
Yep.
too.
So yeah, it's just like, the X Factor or the Matrix books, like something would happen to a character, and then like by the end of that series, like that thing still happened and like still affected that person and the people around them.
Right.
Whereas with this, it was just like everything that happened in the previous 4 issues. Why did they even bother happening? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's fun to see a character grow, and like you said, not that everything has to be like the Watchmen.
Well, right, yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. And like,
Yeah, and I'm not going into a book called Legion of Monsters expecting the Watchmen.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, it works as just a fun comic, but it almost feels like it was missing something though.
Yeah.
I mean, Morbius maybe had a little bit of character development because, it references something from his past, which I don't know if that happened in any other comic. Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah. But,
And he's like, now he thinks differently about his past, maybe.
right, yeah.
But other than that,
But that's not enough.
Yeah.
It wasn't substantial enough to make this book matter.
right.
And then again, I feel bad for saying that for some reason.
I know what you mean. Because, I mean, nothing wrong with it. Just,
Right, yeah.
just not amazing.
Yeah.
Just like a decent monster story.
Yeah.
But with
Fun,
awesome
but
art.
empty.
Maybe it's more Wando's fault for being so awesome because then you like see how awesome the artwork is and you realize, that's definitely a much stronger part of your enjoyment is looking at the pictures.
Right.
Like, yeah, I mean, like I could totally look at, a whole sketchbook of his like character designs for these characters.
Right.
But I don't know that I would read another comic. Like if they did a sequel to this.
Right.
I doubt if I would read it. Unless you picked it for the show.
Right.
But I would totally look at his sketchbook.
I don't know that I would pick it, if they did a sequel, but I probably would buy it.
Yeah.
I think there was enough potential in here to make me want to see a second go, but, and again, I'm not entirely disappointed with this, but just, I think maybe the ending was just way too abrupt.
Yeah.
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 Maybe I don't know. But yeah, the art is amazing. It's definitely worth looking at for that. And the story's fine. It's just, like we said, just sort of ultimately empty.
And I'm glad it seemed to do well. And cause at the very end, there's like a little wrap up page where I think it's the editor says something about, thanks for supporting, this book and these characters and sending all your mail. And that is awesome because I think it is too bad where a lot of times a Marvel comic that doesn't have the letter X in the title or Spider-Man on the cover doesn't do very well. And that's cool that they've resurrected these, these kind of B characters and made something out of it.
It's the thing. I would totally read, 10 versions of a book like this than I would, one Avengers.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And again, it goes back to the Magix thing. I'm much more interested in non-A-list characters, doing stuff and having the spotlight because the creators can do so much more with them.
Right.
And tell weird stories and...
Well, yeah, on one hand, you're literally sick of seeing Wolverine and the Avengers, but on the other hand, like you said, the editors probably aren't as, timid about letting you, completely, go off in left field.
Right,
yeah. So that is cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, yeah, it's just,
I think they did something really cool with this, too. I'm pretty sure, when we ordered number 1, they, doubled our order for free to try to get more people to buy them. Because every once in a while, Marvel or DC will do that where they're this book isn't really getting the orders we wanted. And we'll try to prove to people that, hey, if you did order 10 copies instead of 5, you might have actually sold them.
Right.
Because as a retailer, a lot of these things were I know Eric will buy this, and maybe that weird guy that lives on the RTA bus, but nobody else,
Well, yeah, I'm glad I'm in good company.
Yeah. At least he's got his $1 every day. But, so, instead of ordering 10, we ordered 5, and this and this and another. And I think we ended up, selling most of them.
That's cool. Yeah.
So, we're, up the order for the next ones. And I think that's a thing with small, at least smaller shops like us and smaller titles like this. I mean, you can't take as many chances, unfortunately.
Right.
Because books aren't returnable unless they're, really late or, misrepresented in previews for some reason.
Artist change that they didn't worry about
or even if they change the page count or something, if there's any sort of changes, you're allowed to, return them. But yeah, I mean, it's cool that they try to support kind of smaller stuff like this, even at the bigger companies. So.
Yeah. Probably would have helped maybe if they helped with some of the... because there was virtually no mention of this anywhere online or anything like that.
Oh, really?
So it's yeah, cool that they upped the order, but maybe they should have upped some of their press around it too.
Right. Maybe put some ads in like Moon Knight and some of the darker character books or something.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I even only heard about this book because I was on Twitter and I saw someone else say, "Hey, check out my friend's Dennis Hopeless, Legion of Monsters series," and I clicked on the link and saw that Wando was drawing it. And I was like, "Oh, wow! I would totally buy that."
Yeah, his art's awesome.
Yeah.
I really like it. This is definitely the first thing I've ever read that either one of these guys have done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll definitely peep at whatever Doe does. At least take a look at it.
Right. I know Dennis Hopeless. I think he's doing one of those year one, season one things for Marvel,
Oh, okay.
like the graphic novels that are like retelling an origin again of characters.
How did Spider-Man become a Spider-Man anyway? Was he like bit by something?
I think he was born that way.
He's just born that way. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the Lady Gaga song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Poker Face?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah. Sweet. Well, now I know.
Yeah. No one's half the battle. Which is Spider-Man's motto.
Oh, I've heard that. Uncle Ben said that right before he killed himself.
Yep.
Okay.
And then left Peter his rice fortune.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got the origin fine. We don't need to retell him.
Yeah.
We've got this thing locked
Don't
down.
need that. Don't need that brand new graphic novel. Don't need that damn movie that they're coming out with.
Nope.
We just told it for you for free.
Mm-hmm. Right here.
So let's see some new adventures. Not just retelling the origin.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So which one is he doing, do you know? Hopeless.
I can't recall.
Why would he go by Hopeless?
I don't know.
Is that like sounds like the bass player of some punk band.
Right.
Dennis Hopeless on the bass.
I think on the one episode of the Crankcast that I listened to that he was on, I think he actually explained where it came from. Like, I think it was, I think he said it was something like, him and his wife, like they were getting married, and like she was changing her name anyway, so they just both decided to change the name altogether and pick something that they wanted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they're kind of like gothy and oddball.
Who knows? Yeah.
Comic people.
Comic people are weird.
I mean, that's why I don't use my real name. That's why I go by Jason Young when I do my comics. Because I don't want people to know.
It has been very difficult the past 170 episodes to not call you by your real name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, once I quit
This
doing
is why
comics,
I allow you to introduce yourself.
so you don't forget and call me
Right,
Gary.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
shit. Can we go to break?
Yeah. All right.
Edit that out. No, but yeah. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Didn't love it, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, I would check out something Dennis Hopeless did again, with, like I said, if there was a sequel to this, or if he did another book with a bunch of C-listers that I was interested in, I would definitely check it out. Mm-hmm. Wando, I'm always going to check out no matter what, because he's awesome, and I've enjoyed his work in the past, so.
Right.
Yeah, good on you guys. Just, kind of, not disappointing, but.
Lukewarm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Take a break?
Sure.
Alright. We'll be back.
She had an aura of broom, she was tired, you can't hide me. When I looked in her eyes, they were blue, but nobody home.
Hey, this is Gary, and we're back with... What did I say? Did I call it League Night again?
No, you said the other name.
Oh, you can just... end it.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's take a break here. Hold on.
Okay.
Give me a space.
Okay, there's... Alright. Hey, it's Jason. We're back with Gutter Trash. How's it going?
It's going okay.
Awesome.
How you doing?
Not bad.
Yeah?
Not bad. Not too bad.
Nothing huge going on, nothing,
Not really. Yeah, nothing too exciting.
alright.
It's been drawing. I'm so close to getting my comic done in time for Space. Space is a month away now.
Right.
Just over a month.
Yeah, it's 2 months still.
Yeah.
Month and a half.
Yeah. A month and a half. Yeah, we'll split the difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went to Mendelssohn's and I found this nice rack to display my comics on.
Nice.
On the table. And it's kind of big, it won't take up an entire 6-foot table, but it'll take up like half of it.
Right.
So.
It's a good thing we got 2 tables this year.
That's right.
Yeah.
Represent, buddy. Pretty excited. But yeah, other than that, man, just, working at Mavericks.
Yeah.
Doing some drawing. How about you?
Yeah, much the same.
Yeah.
Drawing, working, I'm in a lot of bodily pain, but, otherwise, just living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Living that life, that thug life, G.
Living that thug life, and, wishing I were dead every single day.
Ooh. Sorry to hear that.
Oh, it's not your fault.
Huh. That's not good.
Well, yeah, I can't talk about it, so,
No.
shouldn't have brought it up.
No neighbors, though.
No neighbors, though.
No
Still no neighbors.
That's awesome.
Although I heard footsteps there the other night.
Yeah, you said there may be some ghosts up there, maybe.
Something.
But they're still, ghosts are still preferable to your previous neighbors, right?
Yep. A lot quieter.
Oh my gosh, what if one of them, I forget their names, Joe and Valma. Sheila. What if one of them killed the other one and the spirit has, came back here to live out the rest of eternity?
As, on their own, one of them at a time seems okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So as long as there's one ghost.
Yeah, because if it's both of them, they're threatening to kill each other. They're inviting their family over to, bring screaming babies around.
Right.
They're
Leaving water running.
Yeah, leaving the water running, knocking shit over, hammering at the walls, whatever. But one at a time, they seemed alright.
Right.
Yeah, so.
They almost seemed like they were doing ghost activity while they were still alive. Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty much just sort of chain rattling.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen movies where, a lady will, walk out of the bathroom and, she hears the water and she turns around and the water has started running by itself.
Right, yeah.
They did stuff like
yep.
that, yeah.
No, I've been doing a lot of reading. Been reading one of them, books without pictures.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Okay.
Also read, 20 issues of X-Force.
Wow, you're catching up on all the X-Force.
Yeah. And then last night, after you left, for drawing night, I read, the Invincible Ultimate Hardcover, Collection, Volume 7.
Wow.
The entire thing.
A dozen issues or so.
That's 14 issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. In
Nice.
2 hours.
Wow, I thought you were going to bed.
Yeah, thought I was too. Thought, I'll read, a chapter and, pass out.
Right.
Yeah. Next thing I know, it's 4 a.m. and I'm done.
I need to catch up on that book.
Yeah.
I've been buying all the trades and I have them all stacked up, but I've only read the first 2.
I gotta say, especially in those, hardcover collections, they are addictive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna set aside one day of the week where, every week I just read an Invincible trade or something.
Right.
Catch
Nice.
up in 3 months, 4 months.
Highly recommended. Best superhero comic being published.
Wow. That's what it says on the cover.
It's not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only time it is wrong is when Jack Staff is being published.
Oh. Which is hardly ever.
Right. So yeah, we do have to cut this short today though.
Yeah.
So, here's a treat for the fan.
Yeah.
You got an emergency you gotta go deal with.
Yeah.
So, and nothing interesting has happened in our lives to talk
Right.
about, so.
Why bore you?
Right. So I'll go ahead and, I'll pick a movie and, let you get out of here.
Sweet.
Alright.
What movie we watching?
Well, this is, as everyone is aware, I've been picking missed classics, movies that I have, for some reason or other, never seen, that, are the types of movies people get mad at you for not having seen.
Right.
I think this next movie is going to be a missed classic, but I think it's going to be the end of the missed classics.
Oh, really? The Swan Song.
It's sorta. I mean, I'll still pick missed classics, but, I'm just getting tired of,
Watching
only
shit.
picking those.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of newish movies that have been out that I really want to see, and, I'd like to watch them for the show, I think, so.
Sweet.
So, I'm just going back to intermingling all the movies again, and stopping this, missed classic streak.
It's a nonsense thing anyway.
Yeah, kind of.
No, I like it. I liked it.
No, it's fun. And I'm glad that I've seen those movies, whether they were good or not. Highlander. But I also made a sort of a New Year's resolution to see 2 movies before the end of the year. I will be picking the second one at some point throughout the year.
Ooh.
But this is one of those movies. This is one of the big 2 that people get angry at you.
Is
if
it
you've never
E.T.
seen
or Cannibal Apocalypse?
It's Cannibal Apocalypse. No. We're gonna watch The Godfather.
The Godfather.
The Godfather.
I was just talking to Kathleen about this movie earlier today.
Really?
Yeah.
That is ironic, because she will be a special guest on the show next week for it.
Nice.
Yeah.
As long as you're...
As long as,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she's actually known about this for a few weeks now.
Okay.
Because a couple weeks ago I did the gutter trash math to
Okay.
figure out, and told her that
Wondered about
yeah, she's been wanting to come on whenever I picked this one. So it's happening.
That's awesome. Can we get Godfather's pizza? We totally should.
Fuck yeah, we can. Fuck yeah, we can.
Awesome.
Yes. And we might as well, since the movie apparently is like 17 hours.
Yeah, we'll have to.
So.
We'll have to each have 2 meals before it's over.
But yeah, so if you've ever gotten mad at me for never seeing The Godfather, you've got a week left to continue that.
Right.
After that, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and make amends. Come on, people.
Yeah.
This rivalry is just it's too long. Hug and kiss and make up.
Yeah. Yeah, so, there's absolutely no reason why I haven't seen it up till now, but, might as well do it.
Sweet.
It's, one of the big 2.
I'm looking forward to it actually.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's weird that because like the way it was mentioned, it wasn't like she was like, "So, have you seen The Godfather recently?" Like something was on TV that reminded us, or it was like something about Godfather. Oh yeah, they were playing Godfather 1 and 2 continuously, and like I guess they had just ended it, and she made a comment about it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it's been forever since I've seen either one of those."
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. So we're again, your girlfriend Kathleen has some medical issues today.
She just called while we were on the break there and said she's not feeling well. I'm gonna go see what I can do.
Yeah, so hopefully she's feeling good by the weekend.
Yeah,
And we're gonna Godfather this thing up.
sweet.
Some Godfather pizza and some Marlon Brando.
That sounds awesome.
Mumble mouth. Right.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
Alright, well then we'll see you next week.
Good night, everybody.
You can subscribe to Gutter Trash at iTunes or directly at guttertrash.net. If you go to iTunes, please leave us a review. You can email us at eric@guttertrash.net or jason@guttertrash.net. For more info, you can find us on Facebook, or you can go to seanborn.net or buyerbeware.guttertrash.net. Listen to our sister podcast, League Night, at league.guttertrash.net. Thank you for listening. Until next time.